Hey everybody, welcome to The List. I'm Jessi Combs.
And I'm Patrick McIntyre. New Year's Day is synonymous with the Rose Parade, and here in Pasadena, California, they've been celebrating for 127 years. And over the years, thousands have come to watch the parade up close and personal, and even more have watched at home as it became a TV tradition.
Now this year's theme is Find Your Adventure, and of course that's what we're all about here on The List. So in the spirit of the holidays, we knew we had to seek out our next adventure.
Now the floats today are massive and audacious, but they're still vehicles, and underneath each one is a driver, and I wanted the chance to be one of those drivers.
And I'm actually more interested in the construction of them. What are the chassis like? What engine drives them? And how do they keep all of those flowers on the float?
So for today's episode, we're going to divide and conquer, and while Jessi learns about how they're made, I'm going to take to the streets in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity as we check Drive a Parade float off of our list.
I've had a love affair with cars my whole life. I build them in my shop, and I race them both on and off-road.
I've spent years on the auto show circuit talking about cars, but now it's time to get behind the wheel and find the next adventure.
Together, we're setting out to tackle all things that every car enthusiast should do.
This is The List.
We've had a chance to drive some unique vehicles on the show, from soapbox derby racers to tanks, but there's something about a parade float that just gets me so excited.
I mean, 2.5 miles in a rock crawler makes sense to me, but on flat ground makes my skin crawl. Now, as a builder fabricator, I'm more excited about the construction of it and what's underneath all of those pretty flowers.
So I'm going to head over to Burbank to check out the Burbank Tournament Roses Association's float during their judging process, and also, more importantly, so I can get behind the wheel.
And I'm going to Irwindale to Fiesta Parade floats to see how the pros build them. This is my kind of place. The welding, the fabrication, the creativity of it all. Fiesta Parade Floats has been building floats for the Rose Parade for 28 years, and they have more awards than any other builder out there. So what better place to come to find out how they're constructed from the ground up? Tim, you guys have built a numerous amount of award-winning floats. What are the key elements to winning those awards?
Working with great clients that give this latitude to create overall designs that fit the overall parade theme, then turning around and executing that by good workmanship, because we've got a great crew here at Fiesta, but more importantly, investing a lot of money into the flowers on the float. I honestly believe that we put more flowers on our floats versus everybody else, because the flowers are the most important thing that's being judged on.
Now the flowers are just the icing of it all. It's the most beautiful part of it. But there's something that is driving these and holding everything up. And I want to know all about the guts of it. I'm here to learn about the construction of it all.
Yeah, Jessi, right over here we have an example of a small float chassis, but right now it's pretty well down to the bare bones. We're going to do some work on it actually later today, but this gives you an idea of all the homemade stuff. We got the homemade frame, in this case 8-inch channel is in here. Our simple driver's seat. The drivers bring their own pads, so still got power steering, power brakes. We have our instrument panels, very simplistic, on-off switch, push button start, battery selector switch because we're required to have 2 batteries in each float. We take out the manual fuel pumps so we don't have vapor locks, and all the floats have 2 electric fuel pumps, and they're separated by a switch. So if one fuel pump goes bad, we got a backup fuel pump. If the battery goes bad, we have a backup battery.
It's kind of weird seeing a V8 put in something that's only designed to go 2.5 miles an hour. It definitely takes everything that I know about power to weight ratio and throws it right out the window. The steel skeleton and the structure of these is pretty massive and intense for what I would like to think that it's just holding up flowers, but when you start thinking about it, flowers have to add weight to it. How much weight do the flowers really?
They add a tremendous amount of weight. When you start looking at the size of these things being 55 feet in length, the weight of the flowers equals the amount of steel that's holding it together.
It's great, so it almost doubles the weight.
It almost doubles it, right?
So I went out to the car and picked up all my safety gear because that's the reason why I'm here, is to help. And I've been told I need to come to this one. Is there a junior here?
Me right here.
Junior, I'm Jessi. Tim sent me over here to help you guys get some work done.
Well, you need to hop right on the float.
All right.
Here's your stinger.
Here's my stinger. Oh, doing a little stick welding today, huh?
And you're gonna do some stick welding today.
It's only been probably 4 years since I've done stick welding.
Well, this is a nice time to pick up on it again.
Wish me luck. Can you hold it closer? There you go. It's tacked in. Now she should stand on her own. You want me to tack this guy in?
Go ahead. That looks pretty good.
We're here in Burbank 2 days before the Rose Parade, and behind me is a sense of urgency and excitement mixed together as the last-second preparations are put on this float for the judging, which is going to happen in about half an hour. I'm going to get a chance to actually get inside the float and drive it, but for right now, what we're going to do is try and stay out of the way while these guys run around like madmen applying flowers and final touches to this behemoth behind me.
So the best way to get a tour of the float is probably to start with our color rendering.
Okay.
This was our design work of getting all of our colors and the final shape of the float before we actually started construction.
And this started out in black and white.
This started as a black and white drawing. When this float gets going here, there's 10 different items that'll be moving. Everything from raccoon heads to barbecue lid, to surfboards, to windows and doors on the trailer, to bear trying to catch a fish, to a hammock and moose head. There's lots of animation. This thing will come alive.
Yeah.
And topping it all off, with any good road trip, you need a good song, and we have custom music written just for this float.
Looking at what is just merely, what starts out as just an idea, just a design, a picture, I mean, it's easy to forget that, like, this drives.
What you don't get to see is the custom vehicle that this is built on top of. We've actually been using this chassis for 21 floats.
All right, Steve, how do we even get in this thing? I see the hatch here.
Absolutely, we have one door here.
Okay.
That's gonna be the crew entrance. We're gonna have, believe it or not, 5 people inside here during the parade that you'll never see.
I'll be the judge of that, we'll see. All right,
so let me get on in here. Watch your head.
Oh my God. Jesus. Oh, wow.
So forgive all the noise that's going on outside, but the decorators are busy at work trying to get the finishing touches on this float. But one of the first things you're going to notice that you're touching is this blue steel.
Yeah.
This is part of the float chassis. It is built like a bridge truss. It's I-beam over box, so it can handle a lot of weight. And then from here, the driver has all the controls, everything from battery, gear selector. It is an automatic, so it does drive like a regular vehicle.
Now I get to get behind the wheel of this thing and really test it out and see what it can do.
Rick, outside your door. Hey, Rick, thank you. All right, guys, are we ready to roll? Let's take the float off emergency brake.
Okay.
Put your foot on the brake.
Yep. Got some people in the way. Want to make sure they're all clear.
All right, Ricky's got you on camera also. He's dead ahead of you.
Yep, I see him.
Let's put the brakes on. You got your foot on the brake.
Yep.
Put it all the way into first gear.
Which was up here, I see.
All the way to the top.
There we go. We're in first gear.
Okay, just release on the brakes.
All right, yep. We got a little movement.
And now just give it just a little bit of gas.
Okay.
Watch your wheel and listen to what they say.
Okay. I want you guys to know something. We're crawling along, but I'm having a blast. I love this. This is so cool. It is difficult because you're watching the screen and you're trying to watch the wheel and you're trying to watch the ground at the same time while you're listening to 6 different people in your ear tell you what to do.
Right.
Okay, guys, coming forward right. So we're parking it back inside the garage, and it's important that they get it exactly where they want it, so that way they have the ability to continue working on it.
4,
There you go.
3,
Okay. One more.
2, 1. Kill it. We're done.
Yeah,
Okay, so put it in park.
Put it in park.
Put on the
All the way
parking brake.
down, parking brake on.
There you go.
That's cool.
That's really cool. I know we were not going fast. I don't expect to go fast, and it doesn't go fast. But with this much weight and having all these people chattering in your ear and having a screen to look at and tires to look at, there's a lot going on.
Yes.
Wow. This is cool. This is really cool. I'm being honest, guys. I've driven Ferraris. I've driven, you know, AMG SLS. Like, I mean, this is amazing. This is super cool. And I didn't even see what we did. I still have no idea how we got where we just were. Like, all of a sudden we're in the garage. Like,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's another one of Fiesta's floats. That ballerina bends backwards at the waist so she can actually make it under the bridges.
Really?
Yeah.
It's awesome to see. The float that I had a chance to drive is coming down right now. The smoking one, as we can see. And I know from experience that there's a line painted in the street because the driver has to use that along with everybody else to navigate the entire path. There's 5 people inside that right now.
Oh my God!
They're releasing doves! Seeing all these floats is amazing. And watching the one that I drove go by was so cool.
And even like the one with the one deer that I put on the float, it's just, I'm proud of that moment, you know?
All that work that goes into this is well worth the payoff.
Totally cool. Well, the parade is over and the stands are slowly clearing out. I'd have to say that was a successful parade, and after watching you drive that thing, I'd have to admit I'm a little jealous because it seemed way more involved than I ever expected.
Yeah, you should be jealous because it was a ton of fun. So, from the 127th Rose Parade here in Pasadena, California, we can officially check Driver Parade Float off of our list.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.